Hey there, also welcome to my video for my predictions for Star Wars, The Last Jedi. So in this video it's going to be more of a discussion based video rather than some other potential formats as well. Part discussion, part me just telling you, but I just kind of wanted to get this video out there with Last Jedi being less than a week from release, so it feels pretty good. I'm actually not seeing it on opening day, so please don't spoil it for me if you've already seen it, if you're watching this video afterwards, in case somehow I get spot on, which I doubt. I would love it, but I sincerely doubt it. So I just want to let you know that my review for Last Jedi is probably coming out probably the 18th or the 19th of December. Most likely. If I'm lucky, maybe I'll come out the 17th. But definitely no later than the 19th, providing I do see it on the 17th as planned. So, now that that's out of the way, let's actually get into my predictions then. But first, a small little discussion on red herrings. I'm sure that during the media hype up, Lucasfilm Star Wars, they made sure to give us some red herrings so we would not be too sure of our predictions. Because, like, from the main trailer, it's like, they're giving a lot away. It seems like it. But is that just us thinking they are? But they're just giving us a lot of red herrings? Because with trailers, you can essentially construct a whole different plot for trailers that's just totally different than the movies. That has actually happened before. So it can easily happen again, and I'm actually pretty sure it will happen again. I'm pretty sure that's what they did for The Last Jedi. Give us enough excitement, but also making sure they provide us with something kind of different. That way we're shocked with whatever actually happens. Some red herrings, but without throwing some obvious stuff in. Maybe throw one super obvious stuff in among all the red herrings, and we dismiss the obvious thing. Now, what that is, they may not have even done it, so who can I say? But I do want to address a recent series that the YouTube channel that Matt Pat runs called, the show is film series, the film series, his film one, so game series channel. So I watched his video on it, his predictions, and I'm afraid he may have fallen for some of the red herrings. But also, now that that's kind of that, I am aware that there's a good chance of being a lot of red herrings. Some of my predictions may be based off what I think more would make a cool story based off of what we've seen, rather than what's more likely. Just because I'm factoring like over half of what has been shown will be trying to lead us in a different direction. And also I want to say, this movie, The Last Jedi, will not be a rehash of Empire Strikes Back. Many people accused The Force Awakens of being a rehash of Episode 4, A New Hope. I'm not so sure about that. Yes, there's lots of extreme similarities, but just remember, a widely enjoyed Star Wars movie in retrospect had not come out since Return of the Jedi, which was way back in about 1984, I believe, the early 80s. We didn't get The Phantom Menace until 1999, and you know how what people say about that movie. It's not as bad as people think, though. I just want to say that. It's Attack of the Clones that's really bad. But that's my personal opinion. If you want more, you can watch probably about mid-January where I'll be ranking all the Star Wars movies again. I'll do that every year. Just want to throw that out there so you're aware of that as well. But, so yeah. That show won't be a rehash of Empire Strikes Back, and this is why. They covered a good portion of the the original trilogy in The Force Awakens. I'm getting the movies mixed up now. Saying a lot of their names just does that, I guess. But so yeah, those seems from all the original movies in The Force Awakens. And The Force Awakens is a good time to do it. People were hating on it because of its similarities from the original trilogy. I'm just like, it's a good Star Wars movie, it's enjoyable, it's familiar, and well, they wanted to play it safe. Come on. After all the backlash the prequels got, and how there was lack of Star Wars content coming out, I think if I was a filmmaker, I'd be like, okay, how can I make a good Star Wars movie that's different, yet is similar enough to the originals? And I think The Force Awakens achieved that. But this is for the Last Jedi discussion, and that's just my build-up to why The Last Jedi will not be a rehash of Empire Strikes Back. It won't be for one simple reason. They don't need to. They already got elements of The Empire Strikes Back in The Force Awakens. Now, will there be some elements of The Empire Strikes Back? Yes. It's the middle film of the trilogy. That's generally when the heroes will be at their lowest and the villains at their highest. That's when you write a 3-part story, that's generally what happens in the 3rd part. The prequel trilogy did not follow that arc, because, yeah. Really, the prequel trilogy had to kind of end with the heroes at the lowest and the villains at the highest. That's why I feel like The Phantom Menace does not fit in the prequel trilogy, for that simple reasoning. So yes, there will be some elements from Empire Strikes Back in The Last Jedi. But I think those are mostly going to be thematic elements. Now, I do think Rey's parentage may or may not be revealed. I know, 50-50. So, how it's going to occur, I don't know, but there's 2 ways I want it to happen. The second way I'm actually going to get later on in this predictions video because I think it'll be more fitting there. So the first way I would love it to happen is somebody reveals Rey's parents, and that's it. Doesn't matter who they are, they're just revealed. Then, in wherever episode 9 is going to be entitled, we find out that that's not true. A twist on the parentage thing, which would be a good way to keep it familiar, but storyline-wise, shake things up a bit, which is what we want to see in the new trilogy. At least for me, I want to see good things starting similar, but I want 8 and 9 to shake things up a little more, and just by doing a big reveal of Rey's parents in The Last Jedi, and then we find out in wherever 9 is going to be titled that that's not true, we're going to be like, what? We will be shocked by it. And I think that would be a good way. Make the review be something obvious, but maybe not super obvious, or not out there. Not an out there kind of series, but not one of the more mainstream Rey parentage series out there, but definitely a better known one, but not maybe super mainstream like Luke Skywalker or Han and Leia, or even Ezra Bridger and Sabine. That series out there, those are kind of more common, more well known. But if they saw in I didn't indulge from Star Wars Battlefront 2 as the red herring in the film, that would be crazy. Now, I don't see that actually happening. I see actually a much more unique way of Rey's parentage being revealed, and that's actually my preferred method. But if they don't do it the way I think would be neat, the first way I just described would be neat. We're told whose Rey's parents are, it's revealed, and then it's preemptively changed on us. We were told falsely, but we don't find out for a whole 2 years. So in the meantime, of course, you'll have all the haters complaining, oh, it was all similar to Empire Strikes Back because blah blah blah. No. Wait. Really. With any trilogy, any continuing story, you really gotta wait till the entire story is finished before you maybe compare similarities. I'm just throwing that out there, but that would be interesting. Definitely interesting to say. And, I want to, before I go on into my big prediction, I want to go into one crazy Rey parentage, the Rey's parents lawsuit that I came up with that's, crazy. I actually put a video probably a couple of weeks ago out, so if you want, you can go check that out. It will be linked in the cards right about here, or will be here. In one of those 2 corners. So that series for Rey's parents that came up is that Rey is actually a clone. But not like a clone we see in Attack the Clones, one genetic donor. No, I mean 2, or even possibly 3 or 4. Some crazy scientists trying to create the perfect being by taking DNA from all the famous and exceptional people in Star Wars history. Luke, Han, Leia. Who else can we throw in there? We can even throw Aiden and Dell in there. Who from South Africa? Who else can we throw in there? Obi-Wan Kenobi. You could throw in lots of rebels, Wedge, Ezra Bridger, Sabine. You can even throw Kanan. Other, like any kind of famous Star Wars characters you can name. Just throw it on there, and if raise some kind of multiple donor binary clone, which would be even ternary, quaternary, and so forth. That would be crazy, and that would totally shatter every theory on whose race parents are, yet keeping them all accurate at the same time. It would be quite impressive. Very unlikely, but quite impressive. And I kind of think it's reasonable because it's so crazy. You know how, sometimes in history there's crazy schemes that end up actually working? This seems like it could be one of those. And it happens in movies all the time, the crazy stuff, crazy plans in movies. This is a crazy theory about a movie. It could be real, but I don't give it much stock. I would think that'd be neat and a nice little twist. But, so now we should go into my big theory, which includes race parents and all that. So first of all, I want to establish, there is this theory out there that Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, is actually undercover in the First Order. He's secretly aligned with the Resistance. I'm going one step farther, and he doesn't even know he's still aligned with the Resistance, even though as I kind of trailed off there, but basically what I'm saying is Ben Solo is still aligned with the Resistance. Kylo Ren's aligned with the First Order. But Ben Solo is subconsciously, is essentially going to be Ren's subconscious, who's just below the surface, kind of like how Anakin Skywalker was still there with Darth Vader. And you'll see where this crazy theory is going in time. But so Luke and Ben Solo, when Ben Solo was much younger, realizing the threat in the unknown regions from the First Order, maybe even before Leia realizes it herself. So they concoct a plan in order to infiltrate whatever's going on in the unknown regions and undermine them from almost the inside. But the way this will have to be done would be, essentially somebody would have to go over to the dark side, because they know it's definitely dark side oriented, wherever this threat is, and convince that threat, who's, let's say, is Snoke, which I'm pretty sure that threat in the unknown regions is Snoke, that they are indeed fallen to the dark side and no longer follow their former friends and family members. How would that be done? Well, you got to, in a way, repress the good. Essentially, use the Force to put Ben Solo in the backseat and allow Kylo Ren to come out, because it is implied, I think, in the novels that Ben Solo always had some of a dark streak. But say if, in Bloodline, it's revealed that to the galaxy as a whole, including Ben Solo, that his grandfather, that Leia's father, is Darth Vader. But what if Ben actually knew it all along? It's just that Kylo never knew it until it was revealed. That lots of stuff that Ben knew, important stuff, that and his personality were just hidden away using the Force inside his brain. As we saw in the Star Wars Battlefront 2, that thing that Kylo Ren can do to look into somebody's mind and gain information, because that was a nice, interesting representation of it. But what if that is in there is where Ben Solo is hiding, inside Kylo Ren's mind, just wandering around. And that's the pro that Kylo mentioned feeling, himself. That's the pro to the light side. Now, the scary thing is that, let's say Leia was actually knew about this. Maybe not, but I'm going to get to why I think it's likely that she might have known. Graham became morbid since she apparently set her husband Han, or Han, whatever you prefer, out to bring Kylo Ren back, bring their son Ben back, even though she knew it wouldn't happen. Think about that, just to convince the dark side more, like a bigger plan. That's kind of morbid, but it could work, especially if you think that threat's so much greater. But then again, if Luke, Leia, and Ben concoct the scheme to repress repress Ben's personality so that Kylo can come forth, how would they get Ben back when they need him? That's where Rey comes in. In this series, that Rey is the daughter of Luke Skywalker in my predictions, and this kind of outlandish theory because I think for one reason, Ben Solo would be close to his cousin, would make sense. So what do? Rey's parentage being revealed is how Kylo Ren can come back, how Ben can come back, I should just say, to the light side. How will this be done? Simple. You make Rey forget everything about her and stick her on Jakku, that way nothing can accidentally happen until they need it to happen. That's the thing there. And Uncle Pluck, why Uncle Pluck? Well, maybe nobody would expect the child of a famous Force user to be kind of in care of a mean scavenger overlord, but also make sure that she's a good scavenger, that way she can survive. Lots of convoluted stuff, but will explain why her family just seems to leave her on Jakku. But also in the series that somebody else leaves her on Jakku for Luke, just to make it even more complex and convoluted to prevent the dark side, the First Order, from catching on. Now this will be so many years in the making that I think is kind of unlikely. But if it is possible, that would be insane. It really would be insane. But how would this setup I just showed for the theory lead into The Last Jedi? Snoke finds out. But he doesn't find out all of it. He only finds out who Rey's parents are. Because he was able to go deep into her mind using the same technique Kylo uses, but he's much stronger, so he was actually able to succeed and actually find stuff that Rey did not even know herself. Pretty impressive power when you think about it. And let's say sometime in the movie, Luke and Rey go to confront the First Order, or that the First Order comes to them and captures them. That's actually probably more likely, because it seems like Luke is reluctant to teach Rey. And that's, from the trailer, that's like the only thing I say is for sure. And that, and who Snoke is addressing about in the first is Kylo Ren and Rey at the same time. Convoluted stuff. I'm not going too much into what's happening for the Resistance, because that's a bit more convoluted, and I'm not sure convoluted, I mean, I have no idea what's going to go there. So say the First Order captures Luke, Rey, or they go to confront, but anyhow they end up facing Snoke and Kylo Ren. And Snoke reveals to Rey that Luke is her father in this scenario, in this prediction. When she emphasizes this as a prediction once again. So, that causes her to totally, she gets mad at Luke for not telling her, and he's trying to play cool like he doesn't know, or that he's just kind of not saying anything because he doesn't want anything else to happen. And Ben Solo resurfaces and Kylo Ren is still in the back of his head somewhere. Future conflict. And so, but Snoke does not realize what happened with Kylo Ren yet because he's so focused on Luke and Rey. And then, let's say Snoke orders Kylo Ren to kill Luke, but because Ben Solo is back, he refuses. And Rey, in anger, snatches Kylo Ren's lightsaber, tries to attack Luke, though Ben force pushes her to save Luke. But let's say it's in vain in the end, let's say Kylo Ren, let's say Ben Solo now, is able to use the Force, get Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber and actually use it to defend, but not totally, and has to run with carrying Luke's current lightsaber, if he even has one, and then Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber running from the First Order back to the Resistance. Shocker. It would be quite an interesting shocker. And so the way this would essentially work would be that craziness would ensue. But I think it would be an interesting way have the main hero and main villain of the trilogy switch places. That would also overshadow the parentage reveal and make it more, how should I put it? That way the similarities for the Empire Strikes Back are less so. Luke did not give into the dark side and join Vader. But when Rey's parentage reveal, she gives into the dark side and switches sides against her family. But still, it would make a nicer twist while keeping the reveal, but making it even shocking. Like, super shocking. Now, is this going to happen? I don't think so, but I would love for it to happen, because then it would be so nice. But this is kind of an outlandish theory and design, so, yeah. But I think that would, I just didn't know, I did not explain it in this video as nicely I had it explained in my head. But that does happen. Sometimes it's easier because in the head you can actually think in pictures. If you know that actually Rey does grab Kylo Ren's lightsaber. So I'm only assuming what she's doing with it. But in the clip I did show also showing the Snoke's guards going into a defensive status, so that actually does that does kind of devalidate my predictions. But then again, she could do it twice in the film. Or even, sometimes you just play around on set, I bet. You film some red herrings that look cool, that actually have no bearing on the story. I feel like Star Wars is going to become a master of that. I'm pretty much guaranteed of that. But as for what's going on with the Resistance and New Republic, well, I'm going to say the New Republic fractures. Some of it, especially the most centrist ones, go in more imperial ones, you can say, join the First Order. A lot of them old Rebel Alliance plans, like from the early days, side with the Resistance. And all the others, kind of, some might go with the Resistance, some go with First Order, some may go be like, we're going to go on our own. And I have a feeling most will go on their own. A good portion, except for I feel more will go to the First Order than to the Resistance, and probably about equal to the First Order, say, we'll either go from a new government or go it on our own. Now, I'm not too well versed in what plans on what, but I do have that feeling. And like Resistance plan, some plans will side with Resistance and offer their defense forces to help fight the First Order, will be like, the Mon Cala. They'll side with the Resistance, I'm sure. It really surprised me that Rylos, even though it's independent from the New Republic, would be willing to support the Resistance. They may be like, we're going to allow our citizens to fight with you, we're not going to send in forces ourselves to fight, but you can send your wounded to get aid, we'll allow you safety in our territory kind of thing. But I don't see that happening in the movie. Maybe as an offhand line comment by a character. But I have think some other planets too will go side with the Resistance. Again, lots of the early Rebel Alliance wars. I have think Chandrila will. My monster was from there. If Alderaanians that are still around will probably side with the Resistance as well. Though Princess, even though I'm sure she doesn't use that, even though Leia doesn't appear to be using that title anymore, is leading the Resistance. Kind of see that coming. Really anything else about that? Oh, how about the New Republic military? I have a feeling that some will go and protect will go inside with the Resistance, some could integrate into the First Order military. I could see the essential New Republic just fracturing in many directions, including its military. And have only a New Republic remnant. Like the main one that has the best claim of being the successor state of the New Republic, sides with resistance. Just as a thing. And now the last thing I want to talk about before I end this prediction discussion video, the Chiss. They were introducing Han thanks to Grand Admiral Thrawn. We know that he's aware of a threat in the unknown regions, most likely Snoke. Now, seemed like he wanted to use the Empire to combat that threat, though it appears that will have failed, or not even gotten to fruition. Maybe when he realized that Emperor Palpatine is actually seeking that threat out. Not to destroy it, but maybe to use it, to ally himself with it. And I think that will cause Grand Admiral Thrawn to decide that the best bet of action would be to go and fortify the Chiss and let the Rebel Alliance overthrow the Empire. Maybe he even leak some information out. Because that would explain why Thrawn may not be there, because he's left when he found out what Palpatine's really up to. Would help explain all that out. And a few other things I would say will also happen, especially now I don't actually see the Chiss showing up in the movie. Or if they do, it's a very well kept secret. Or even, they don't even appear. Only their ships appear at the end. That will actually be interesting. Because I'm pretty sure if the Chiss are in there, we would have heard leaks of it by now. I don't pay attention to leaks myself, but that would be actually impressive if the Chiss appear minorly, granted you, maybe they only announced that they were there to help the resistance to fight the First Order, who's aligned with the threat that they know that Snoke, who is a threat to the Chiss, and with Grand Admiral Thrawn leading the Chiss. But that's not going to happen in The Last Jedi. If anything, that's going to happen in the next movie. But if the Chiss do appear, I would love for it to be a Chiss ship, maybe a small cruiser, shows up and helps the heroes escape the First Order. Say they get in a TIE fighter, non-special order TIE fighter. No hyperdrive or something, or damage. Just, the ship comes, picks them up, and takes them. And that could, maybe only a small audio bit there will, essentially the entire scene could be done CGI. Well, nobody would know. That would actually be shocking. But if they just appear, that's kind of, I want them to be almost a Deus Ex Machina. That saves the heroes at the last moment. But I don't think that'd be the best way. But if they do appear, I would like them to be at the end. Or even better. Because all the Star Wars movies end in silence. So, we just see maybe in one of those scenes at the end, because some movies have more scenes than others, or should I say dialogue signs, because there is always music. So, that would be impressive in a way. Like, you see maybe the Resistance licking the wounds, because I'm pretty sure they're going to get destroyed like the Rebel Alliance did in Empire. Now, it's going to be a rehash, mind you, but come on, you gotta put your heroes at the lowest. There's gonna be some similarities, especially if you want a good storyline. And since we're not setting, and since this is a sequel trilogy, whatever happens next is what happens next. It's not like the prequel trilogy where we had to get to a certain point where the galaxy and the heroes are at their lowest. We can have the heroes be at their lowest in The Last Jedi. The title, the red that's being shown on all the posters, says it all. Last Jedi. That's very ominous. All this red is very ominous. So, yeah. The heroes are going to be at the lowest. And that's not a reason for it to claim to be a rehash of The Empire Strikes Back. Now, if it does end up being a rehash of The Empire Strikes Back, I will also complain about it. But I don't see it. The similarities I'm going to see from The Empire Strikes Back mainly are going to be thematic mostly. And it looks like there's going to be two big battles for the Resistance and First Order. Which I'm not sure how that will work, but okay. So this video is getting long, I'm getting hoarse, so just one last thing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and also comment down below. Tell me what you think is going to happen in the Last Jedi. But no spoilers. And just say no, so I don't get spoiled. I won't be reading your comments till after I watch The Last Jedi. Because I do read the comments when I get them. But I don't want to be spoiled, so I'm not going to be reading them until after The Last Jedi. I just want to let you know. So yeah. So thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you, always.